must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
From the word go, the World Health Organization indeed gave us questionable information. Information that could not lead Africa, and especially give Africa the way forward to prepare themselves. That has indeed dented the credibility of the World Health Organization. The credibility is further dented by the advice that came up about the flights that we saw. We are told there's no transmission that could take place from the flights, and later on they changed that there was a link between the flights, the air travel, and the COVID-19. Today, as Africa looks back 4 months ago, what have we achieved? And what have we done? How many countries in the world are joining the growing list to demand transparency, openness, to demand reasons, to demand answers as to why they were not told about certain steps to be taken, like washing hands, keeping a distance at an advanced stage? When did the World Health Organization know that this disease needs to wash hands? You need to stop it by washing hands. You need to stop it by standing a distance of 1.5 meters away from your partner or your friend or your relative or anybody that you meet. When?
Chinese officials ignored their reporting obligations to the World Health Organization and pressured the World Health Organization to mislead the world when the virus was first discovered by Chinese authorities. Countless lives have been taken and profound economic hardship has been inflicted all around the globe.
These are some of the things, and this week or last week, Russia joined a growing number of countries to demand answers. There are several countries that are demanding answers. Kenya is on the committee, is now appointed on the committee of the World Health Organization Council. India is the chair person, and India itself as the chair has already triggered a debate as to why this was let out and it destroyed the world. Whatever they will come out with will not go away from my original opinion that I formed on the question of COVID-19 coming from Wuhan in China in December and only declared a pandemic in March. Those who have ears can hear. Those who don't, it's up to us. But the blame lies squarely at the doorstep of the agency of international stature that should have warned us about the COVID-19. That is my opinion.
Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Daytime Express, where we get to look at the news-making headlines here in Kenya, even as we, pay special spotlight on the situation on COVID-19 in the country, as the numbers keep going up, but also the number of the people who are getting better also is increasing. So that gives us a bit of hope, even as we, as a country, continue to fight this COVID-19. A very warm welcome to you. My name is Miriam Ogutu from the headquarters of Punchline Africa Television, and from the Political Command Center is none other than Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, and good morning, Professor Gerard Onyari from the CBD of Nairobi. Thank you very much, miles and miles away from you people. God bless you. How are you doing? How is the situation down on the ground? The cold seems to have hit so hard. It's very cold. The temperatures last night went deeper. I don't know about you, Professor. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr. Masanga. The cold is equal the same, and I think these are the effects of the climate change, and the climate change is really.
Yes. Thank you very much. Climate change. We talk about this climate change next week. We want to know why it is very, very cold. Why the winter here is cold. Some days have ice. Yes, I saw some pictures in Kenya. Have you seen that picture in Kenya? Where there is ice on the road? I saw something like that. Please send our people. We want anybody who has got that picture in Nairobi, in Kenya, the Republic of Kenya, send it to us. We want to see that picture of ice on the road. Has it come? Nyandarua, those areas towards, I still remember that place going towards Naivasha, deep on the top of that, before you go down the escarpment. Is something changing? Have we interrupted with the lifestyle of the trees? Because the trees also have life. Suggestion, Miriam, somebody was saying the American High Commission ambassador in Kenya should promote activities that not animals. So he went further to suggest that bullfighting is one of the tourist attractions that the American ambassador should promote. So I asked this guy, is a bull not an animal? This guy ran off from the tweet because he was condemning the American ambassador for having gone to Naivasha, where you see zebras. There's an island of zebras only. So the Americans said this is the best way to come and do your local tourism. But that is another topic. Medium is very interesting topic on how we can,
promote,
market our tourism, how we can package our economy, how we can package our environment. I think next week we shall tackle a topic of that nature. Back to you in the studio in Nairobi.
All right, thank you so much. And before we get to the topic, let's look at the figures as they stand this morning. Kenya, the number of confirmed cases stands at 14,806. The death toll is 260. Recoveries is 6,757. Uganda, confirmed cases 1,075. Recoveries 958. Zimbabwe, 2,034. 26 people have died. Recovery stands at 510. South Africa, 394,948 cases. The death toll is 5,940. Recovery stands at 229,175. And we look at Burundi, confirmed cases 328. One person has died. Recovery is at 207. There, Burundi doing quite well. Now, the total cases that has been confirmed in the continent as per an hour ago, in Africa this morning, is 750,488 cases. The number of deaths that have been reported is 15,744, and recoveries in Africa is 409,801, and the global cases right now are over 15.3 million cases, and the deaths are 630,313. And of course, the global recovery is right now over 9.3 million people there that are said to have recovered from this dangerous COVID-19. So, Doctor, the figures there continues to go up. And yesterday, I think the country registered a new high, whereby the country registered new infections at 637. I mean, by this time, this is not surprising at all. We were expecting this because we were warned there earlier, Doctor.
First of all, there was a Kenyan driver who collapsed in Soroti, Uganda, miles away from Nairobi. Rushed to hospital, and he is recovering. I will bring you the motorbike, the lorry number truck driver. His truck is well looked after by the Ugandans, but he's recovering very well in the hospital in Soroti. I got that information from the network that I have in that country. The recovery rate in Kenya is improving. As much as you think there's no recovery, there are recoveries. There's a possibility that recoveries will overtake infections. But there is also a possibility that at a certain time, they will run almost neck to neck. Because the flu, the more people get disciplined, there is some relaxation. There is some gap that is causing this rise in numbers, especially in Nairobi. There is something that has not clicked so well, which I believe the government will work on. Either people are drinking at night, marrying at night, mixing at night, and sleeping during daytime. There's a possibility. There's a possibility that the president will change the strategy. Yes, Museveni has released, is opening the borders on Sunday. 27th is when? Monday, the border will be open. Kenyans will be allowed to move. The border districts, yes. So it means, and there is progress in vaccine in Uganda and in Kenya. I'm happy yesterday I wrote that early morning, 5 a.m., and thank you, Professor, for defending me from some zygote who had actually wanted to dilute what I had written. I want to thank Professor Onyari for coming in to say hello. My suggestion has been taken already. Someone in Aga Khan is trying to tell us there is hope. All what we need is hope now. People need hope. People don't want to see these headlines. This headline is very discouraging. If you are telling people you are buying coffins, body bags, surely you come home to your children and you say, as we eat this meal of ugali and the nyama, equal body bags, they have been bought. Even this child will say, you are dead, what's wrong with you? So let's be very considerate. The type of words that we utter, even journalists who are writing such a story. It's a good story. But first of all, for democracy and the media independence to grow, weigh the language, because the thing here was very straightforward. Body bags, coffins, graves, cemetery on increase. A tabloid in London will sell. We are not an island like London, a United Kingdom. Kenya has land. We haven't even used 3/4 of our land. We can even decide to bury our people in Marsabit. Yes, if the worst come to a nightmare, Noah's Ark came once where people buried. Who was buried during Noah's Ark? The chaplain is here. Yeah. The water just came and sank everybody here. So, look, I am impressed with the figures of recovery in Kenya. Very impressed. Thank you. With these figures that you have said, recovery. But there is something, Nairobi still ranks. Nairobi still tickles people. Nairobi still solution. Our talk here must be candid. And let's not hide. Let's tell the president the truth. That, Your Excellency, people drink at night. The examples of Sakaja are many. And the people who are violating this curfew, drinking, are elite. The so-called Range Rover men, V8 men, these are the guys violating these things. Put all government vehicles in storage. Yeah. Saa 12, gari ya government inside. Watch out. Mzee, they are threatening us again with these V8s. Zinakunya mafuta usiku. They are the people violating this thing. They are the people going in these pubs, encouraging people to drink. If you don't talk the truth, who is going to talk the truth? Then all of us will lie every day that Your Excellency things are very good. They are not. The public service must come down on this big Range Rover. No, not Range Rovers are not bought by government. Must come down on V8s of government, MPs, senators. They are the biggest violators, not us, poor people. Some of us by 9 o'clock, Your Excellency, by 8, we are already gone to blanket. Yes, kama kukunywa, tutakunywa kwa ndani kwa nyumba. But the people violating this, not the common mwananchi. The common mwananchi is wearing even a mask at night in the house, not knowing that it could suffocate him or her. But this guy is with zooming with this V8. At night, you ask him where he has been. There, in your consideration, angalia hapo, iko cab, hapo ndio pale kazi, iko shida. The people who are asking for golf to start, you know, you are playing golf for what now? To go and do an egg. Is there any competition for golf worldwide? Who's playing it? Who is playing it? You see, people were first asking for golf medium. But who carries the golf sticks? I don't play golf. Maybe Professor Onyali plays golf.
No, I don't.
I am not a golf player. My father told me that it is one of the most dangerous games because all what people go there is to crack deals. As we walk around this, what are they called? Those sticks are called what? The people who carry those sticks. Anybody medium who has been in this field, there is a word for the boys who carry the bags. Mm-hmm. But those boys don't come from elite group. There is nobody who has gone with his houseboy or house girl or house minder to the golf club. The boys wait outside the golf to say Mzee Kanai ni bebe. But where has the money come from? That's how we are spreading these things. So there are certain things that the government should curtail on. Some government, even in London, some saloons, everybody cutting anybody's hair, it was closed. They have opened all saloons that are capable to keep the cleanliness. Umesikia hiyo? Lakini watu hapa sasa kila saluni mnataka mfukwe. People are even telling the president, every bar, watu wanauza pombe usiku. Yes. Let the beer come to hotels where tourists have come. I'm very glad to tell you that in Mara, there are some tourists who have traveled, they have come. I saw some yesterday, and I think they are on one of the pages, in one of the papers. I saw in one of the business daily, there are tourists in Mara hotels, because one of the hotels where I frequent is doing it. There are guests there, some who have flown back. But let's be careful if they are flying from Tanzania. We have to take very serious precautions. But limit this business in such hotels, institutions, and only institutions in Kenya, in the River Road, and other places that can keep the standards. Some of these places, the standards are so poor that you enter there when you are very alive, you come out when you are very dead. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So, Professor, according to the government, 1 in 3 patients who died from COVID-19 had hypertension or diabetes, the Ministry of Health said, as it reported 10 new deaths and 637 infections yesterday. Hypertension is at 17%, diabetes at 15%, while chronic lung disease are at 10%, and cancer deaths are at 10% as well, while HIV patients represent only 4% of the deaths. There's something here Doctor has been saying, that when the Ministry of Health is issuing these daily press briefings, they should be bringing specialists. We see a very key, this is something that the Ministry of Health has noted, people with pre-existing conditions like diabetes and hypertension. Is it about time perhaps the Ministry of Health started advising people on how to perhaps better manage these pre-existing conditions? It's because if they continue managing the way normal, like the way they used to in normal conditions, then maybe they might not understand. Maybe there's something else that they could do to ensure that they continue to be kept safe. So is it time that we engaged specialists to come and give specific advice to people with pre-existing conditions?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And it is high time that we change the strategy we have said here, and it's almost becoming a song. People with pre-existing conditions, they are very vulnerable. So only saying that they are vulnerable, they should be taken care of more than anybody else. Let me just use the case of Charles Bukeko, Papa Shirandra. They went to the hospital, they only checked on COVID and lived other conditions as per the allegation the wife was putting forward. So when you go to hospital, you must be looked at holistically. What conditions are you having? And when they find that you are having pre-existing conditions, you should be taken care of and managed properly. That's my take. And perhaps it is high time that again that the way doctor has been saying, leave professionals in their own field to advise. Those doctors in that with those pre-existing conditions, hypertension, and every other day they should be able to talk to the people and give people hope. And as the doctor has openly said very eloquently that the number of people who are recovering is increasing. And not all people did maths. People said maths many years ago. So let us say that since the corona cases were reported into this country, this is the number. And I think they should be able to open that column. These are the number of the people who have recovered. These are the number of the people who have succumbed to the disease. And these are now the numbers we have.
The active
You
cases.
See, now the 14,000 or the 15,000 is the number who have healed, is the number who have died, is the number who have done this. So it is high time that they see on that one, because if they do so, they will be giving people hope that we are talking about. So in answering your question, in summary, people who are having pre-existing conditions, they should be looked more than anybody else, and they should be talked to more often than anybody else. So don't tell us that those people who are having pre-conditions, that they should be very careful. Tell them what to do. Show them what to do. Thank you.
They should be specific. Doctor, the same question there, because this is something that you've kept saying here. And as much as we're told the people with pre-existing conditions, they're more susceptible to COVID-19, and they're leading in terms of the fatalities that you're seeing. But they're not given specific advice that perhaps they might not even be knowing. They know, they could be just handling their pre-existing conditions as usual, as they used to. So is it about time the Ministry of Health, while it's giving its daily briefings there, doctors, you have been suggesting, to bring some specialists so that they address this specific group of people who are leading in terms of deaths?
Thank you. Exactly. That's what I've been saying. Nobody wants Mr. Amof to be coming today telling us Amof. No, change strategy. Mr. Amof is the Director General. He collects data. And it is very difficult in communication strategy for you, who is the managing director, to be accepted by a journalist. I'm a journalist myself. I go and I interview the Prime Minister, Tony Blair. I used to go in and say, he said, oh, my African friend, my Ugandan friend, how are you? And then Johnny Blair knows that the question coming from me is very bad. It's either based on racial equality. So he usually says, I know who will answer your question. Foreign and the Commonwealth Office official is here. The point I'm making here is this. Dr. Amof is being put on trial. Because if one journalist sticks on you, I said, but the other day you told us this. So why didn't you tell us that if you don't eat cassava, the disease will catch you faster? But if there is a doctor in charge of food and nutrition, she will take that question or stand firmly to tell these journalists, so that these stories, these biased stories, this story of money being hidden, where all this does not appear. Jermaine, we teach these things. Jermaine, we teach these things in this, where education came from. We have some of us have even spoken. With our accent, we speak to almost 5,000 Wazungu listening. Please, they call you for a public lecture. You don't shy away because they will understand what you are talking about. But if you come yourself, PS, CAS, Dr. Moff and Dr. Karanja, you are now boxed. The Kenyan journalist is very clever journalist, not even clever and very poorly here, very bad. He can watch you and then say, but there is that thing of, and there is something in the media where media will tell me something. People don't trust the government. Am I wrong?
You're
Doctor,
right.
one of the key things, responsibilities of a journalist is to act as a watchdog for the public. So they're not supposed to even be friendly to the government.
So as a watchdog,
yeah.
you are right.
To the
As a
public.
watchdog, he asks questions that will derail you.
They're supposed to challenge
So
your facts, yes.
you don't let. I have sent a message to Dr. Mwangangi and the CS. I want to say publicly here, I've given the message. I said every day that they put someone on my TV to watch me. What I speak, if I'm speaking nonsense, then they should call me. Also, I've given my number. But I'm an editor in this continent also. Yes. So value some of this advice. Value the advice we are giving you. For example, if you brought a man in charge of nutrition, you brought a man in charge of HIV AIDS, akuwe hapo standby. Dr. Amos is a policymaker. Don't crowd him with too many things. Please. Dr. Amos comes in when he has seen one doctor is failing. He's a policymaker. He's an overall man. So we have a lot of time in Africa. This cannot be done on a daily basis. Let's space again. Space the breathing. I hope people are watching today, Minister of Health. Space the breathings. Give people time because people are beginning to say, anakuja tena. Anakuja tena. You can give 3 briefings in a week.
Yeah.
While you plan for this professor of distance to arrive there, the professor of hypertension to arrive there, the professor of diabetes arrive there, the professor of nutrition, professor of psychology and violence, domestic violence, criminology. Look at other places in the world, comparative politics. I teach comparative strategy. I would like to see those people well dressed up there to say, I am here. Don't bring us this Amref man all the time. Bring us many people. The story of Mr. Amref, Dr. Amref, is repeating the same things every day.
Yes.
Yes, we get fed, people get fed up. You see, bring many other faces. Bring even people who can stop political rallies. Because political rallies are also creating us COVID-19.
The drivers of COVID-19, yes.
Yeah.
Led by Oparanya there, the governor, the chair.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to thank.
He's been having meetings.
Thank you very much. Mombasa, you have just come in. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Oh my God. Good morning. Hello. This.
All right. So as we wait for Mombasa to come in, yes.
No. They were calling.
Okay.
Bring in. The president had us our voice last week. He called for these conferences to cancel. All cabinet ministers were called back. Yes. Kuna kuspread huko COVID. Mnaenda to address watu who are not COVID without masks. So bring in a man who talks about political rallies at this hour. You know that's how you are going to manage this Kenyan public. My advice is not a problem. My advice is a problem when people fail to come back and say thank you, it bites them. Meskia Miriam, in our Uma, because they fail to come back to say, Miriam and David and the professor were talking. Thank you very much, Punchline. We are just giving advice. We want to conquer this disease. They look at it everywhere. Even in Washington, D.C., the guy who does not want to wear a mask, brings people. You have seen him with a group of people behind them. A specialist. Because if you hip the work on Dr. Amoth is a very good friend of mine, very nice man. But the problem is that he cannot be the man who collects the data. Then he comes to disseminate the data. Then he cancels the data. Then he marks himself. No, that policy has to change. Spread it to people. Spread it to people. Bring more.
Delegates.
Bring more people. Bring hotel industry. Bring the general manager of hotels.
Yes.
Bring Atwoli to talk about these workers. People are traumatized. People have not been paid. And the people are selling alcohol because they want to earn a living to go and buy tomorrow. Bring somebody, an expert, criminologist on the panel. It is very simple. Give him money for petrol and he can come. Bring people who can speak about COVID-19. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So, Professor, of the new cases yesterday that were recorded, 637 new infections, and now of the new cases, the men there are leading with 361, and the female there are 276. And of course, this has been the trajectory since the start, not just here in Kenya, but indeed across the world. The sex that is leading in terms of infection is men. Is there a possible reason as to why this is the case? I remember a few days ago, a media personality in the country, a lady, was trying to discuss this matter, and in her discussion on social media, she said men do not like water, men fear water and cleanliness. So this could be the reason why. I don't know, Professor, does this even make any sense at all? And what could be the reason why men are leading in terms of infections?
I don't know where they fear water, and if they fear water, that one might be this one.
And which men are these that fear water? I want to know.
That's not dispute that, but this is the right road. If you walk around in the streets or in the estates, the people whom you will see idling around, sitting in the punches in large numbers are men. People who are just going in the night to open the bars to drink are men, when women are sleeping in the houses with their children. So what I can say, the way men, their social structure, they are structured, and their social roles, they go out to fend for their families. Hello. And this might be one of the reasons.
Hello.
Miriam, you are listening to me?
Yes, continue. I can hear what you're saying.
Yes, you want to contribute?
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. How are you morning?
Fine, thank you.
Good to hear from you. What's good?
Well, do you want to contribute to the debate?
Yes, I want to contribute.
Yeah, go ahead. Then why are you asking me what is good? There's nothing good. We are talking about COVID-19. If you want to contribute to the debate, the lines are open live throughout. Say something.
All right, I've seen the discussion going on COVID.
Yes.
The curve is not getting flattened.
Yes.
And the number of men getting infected, being confirmed as positive cases keep rising. have to go out and look for what the family will feed. I think they have a huge responsibility to play. Unlike our counterparts, women who most of the times maybe, I'm using maybe.
There are also women, Cora, you didn't give us your name. You are Mr. Who? Max?
Mr. Pandi.
Okay, thank you. And now there are also women who feed their families.
Sure, but the percentage compared to the men is slightly slim.
Okay. Now, from your observation,
yes,
we are coming to ticking bomb towards the deadline. Open or not open? Open and go where? The numbers are shooting up. Nairobi seem to be leading in reproduction.
Yes.
What do you think the president can do?
I think the president ahead of tomorrow will be reaching the governor at the county bosses of 47 counties, and I think going by the advice from the health aid, there is no need of announcing a lockdown because Kenyans, most of them, Kenya is a third world country, and you know very well that Kenyans are living under shoestring budget, meaning they have to go out to look for what will feed their family. So I think the most important thing here is individual responsibility, something you've been emphasizing, something the president emphasized while lifting the session, announcing lockdown in hotspots, even going by the advice of health experts that the president has received. I think it wouldn't work. So let Kenyans exercise high caution of personal hygiene and observe containment measures put in place. Now it's everybody for himself, God for us all.
Thank you very much, sir, for the contribution. Any comments on Punchline Africa TV, how we present our work?
Fantastic show, fantastic, production, good lineup, amazing panelists, and I'm impressed with the work of Punchline Africa TV.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Keep watching right in Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, miles away from the Punchline Africa television.
I'm always saying you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the hiccup. I misled the number. I thought it was a different number. But thank you very much, sir. You are one of those in the system who can watch. So if you are watching Tare Kagwe, we are making good suggestions here.
I'm sending him the link right now so that he can also have a look at it.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, because we need...
Miriam, I did not finish.
Professor was interrupted.
Yeah, Miriam, I was saying that science has not really told us why men succumb to COVID or are getting in large number than women. Science has not told us that. But my own take, I can say that perhaps the biology and the lifestyle and the behavior of men can contribute that. Even when corona is more of the breathing. It affects our breathing system. So more men do smoke and drink than women.
So that means that the respiratory system is already
our
compromised.
lifestyle and our behavior. I've told the people you can walk from the estate and found people who are seated in large number, doing nothing, not wearing masks. They will be, the chances that they will be men are higher than women.
All right, Doctor.
We have Mr. Alomba. He has joined. Miriam, you have not seen Alomba.
Oh, Alomba is here. And Doctor, when our caller said what's good in the young people's language, that he was saying hello when he's saying what's good, Doctor, he meant hello.
Okay. I grew up when we are using.
It's a young people's lingos. I understand, millennials.
Miriam,
yes. So
this is why I miss you from teaching me some of these things.
So she does.
If I had been closer there, you would have written a small note quietly to say it means hello. Now for me, I thought my friend, why are you?
All right.
Learning is a continuous process, Professor. We keep on learning.
Keep on.
No, thank you very much, Alomba in Kisumu.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Alomba, what's good?
Every, the weather is okay, unlike yesterday, and everybody is happy. Everybody is keeping social distancing.
Are you sure?
From whatever I've observed today, they are really responsive to the surging numbers.
All right.
Yeah, so the surging numbers are creating the sense of fear. Is it true?
It is true, Doc. Absolutely.
So now you agree with my theory of yesterday of 3 words: hope, fear, discipline.
Yes. I
Tell me
agree.
some people who did not do project management want to come to tell people, yet the Minister of Health take the thing. Hope,
Yes.
fear,
Yes.
and the discipline. That's how Museveni has controlled the Ugandan public. There is hope, there is fear, and then there is discipline. The moment you touch, you cross, the moment you bring your problem in the city with your border, it is short. Miguu wanapiga the tires, not the legs. So you can imagine how you are going to buy in this COVID-19 situation the tires of your car. You know, the Ugandan system has made people to be disciplined. If the traffic police officer stops you and you refuse, he doesn't shoot the body. He shoots the tires.
Yes.
And the one tire burst, added a bullet entering the tire will scare you.
Yes.
So when you stop the car with flat tires, the damage is so high. 4 tires with 1 million or 400 or 200,000. Do you want to risk? No. So somebody, when a policeman in Uganda puts his hand up, even if you have all the documents, don't drive off. Stop, show him the documents. In Kenya here, people beat the police.
They pop water on police.
They even throw water at them.
Yes, people beat the police. They throw water like a Harwari. That man there. You know, you have undermined the police. Police is supposed to keep rule of law.
Yes.
They are not supposed to be stigmatized and criminalized. You a criminal going to hold a rally on behalf of Ruto. Why doesn't Ruto himself come to hold a rally? Why is Ruto hiding in his Sungoi home and carrying home? And you are busy running around.
Eating rogi theory.
Yes, because you want to pick some pocket change. Kwenda.
Professor, was it raw or undercooked? There's a difference.
No. Listen.
Yes.
The deputy president is not campaigning in Vihiga. You are the one spreading COVID-19 in Vihiga. Then you go there to use his name in Vihiga. Who is going to die, you or him? I am asking these guys. Raila Odinga is recovering from the surgery in Karen. He has not told you go and shout Raila Odinga name. It is you shouting, whoa, 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 whoa. Baba, Baba, Baba is not going to go down. I have never seen 2 graves being manufactured for 2 people who like each other. 1 grave. I've never.
So wise of you.
Even if you love your wife to the extent that Angel Gabriel sees you love her so much. Hello, baby, baby. You go alone. You are buried alone. and let people understand that. Another point to the ministry, because we want to cross over to do an analysis of one smaller thing about the money. A cloud is coming on the money issue. The billion is hidden. One of the headlines that made me to write that is the center holding in the strategy of Kagwe. Is the center holding. The center can hold if Kagwe can flush out mujahideen who are hidden in the Ministry of Afia. He told us there are mujahideen there. Mujahideen means mafios. Those who take 4 million shillings for tea, yet tea is grown freely in Kirinyaga. So the earlier he flashes them out, the better. But these figures should not cause the public to panic. The public should not panic. The public should stick to the discipline, the fear, discipline, and the hope. Let the government give us hope. Let the government give us guidelines. We take the disciplinary action needed. And I would like to ask the parliament to increase the fee of violation of public act. Because for you to charge Sakaja 15,000 shillings is pocket change. Even his wife does not shop for 15,000. For you to charge that MP where 15,000 for an offense where he has committed a crime of humanity, spreading COVID-19, killing human beings, is soon going to be a fixture in the International Criminal Court. Did you know that? This is going to come. There is a government in Malawi that has taken Mr. Mutharika to the ICC for having allowed people to campaign during COVID-19. Now Mr. Chakwera has come to power. Another group also has taken Chakwera to the ICC for having allowed them to campaign during COVID-19. Umeona?
That's what we said.
And this would lead to, yes, because you are exposing people to a well-known disease.
Yes.
International law. If you don't know it, zoom, zip. Don't play about with this disease. This disease can land you in the head. This disease here, the way people are playing, saying that we are campaigning for Ruto.
Yeah,
And then it comes to kill 30,000 people here in those areas. Someone will go to court and quote Harware and quote Washari. Those statements will be quoted. I'm telling you. Those statements will be quoted. So there you are, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much. And speaking of the billions, here on the front pages of the Standard newspaper, it says the headlines where the COVID-19 billions are hidden. Only 13.3 billion Kenya shillings of the 156.7 billion Kenya shillings released to jumpstart the economy in March has found its way into the ordinary Kenyan's pocket. The rest, that is 143.4 billion Kenya shillings, has been stashed in banks by rich individuals and corporates. And let me just read perhaps so that we get the full context of this story and what Treasury Cabinet Secretary is saying about this. We can have a wholesome conversation thereafter. Now, In 3 months, since Kenya announced its first case of the coronavirus disease, the billions of shillings pumped into the economy, mostly by government payments meant to cushion Kenyans from the adverse effects of the pandemic, are yet to provide relief to the struggling workers and businesses that need it most. Close to half of the money released, that is 77.1 billion Kenya shillings, was locked in fixed deposit accounts by wealthy individuals and businesses rather than being made available to Kenyans for use through salaries or consumer purchases, for instance. Now, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani acknowledged that a lot of the money remained locked in bank accounts, but said it was due to a combination of factors. This, he told the Standard yesterday, include uncertainties around the investment climate, which forced banks to take a wait-and-see approach, and a reduction in the cash reserve ratio, which freed up close to 35.2 billion Kenya shillings into the money market. So what Treasury is telling us, yes, there is this money still held up in the accounts, but also there's a reason as to why this money is there. And in the wake of even seeing a lot of our health workers, they are lacking PPEs right now. They account for a good number of people who have been affected by COVID-19 in the country. Does this make sense at all to Kenyans, the layman out there, Kenyans who don't understand all these economics and what happens in the treasury and all that? They know the money was given. Why are our doctors not having PPEs? Why are our nurses getting infected by coronavirus? Why is this happening in that? How can the government come out and ensure that they communicate effectively and make Kenyans understand what's happening with these monies? Prof.
Miriam, the money was given to go and fight COVID-19. Fine, the reasons which are being advanced. What will happen if all Kenyans will die and the money will be in the banks? So be it as it may, sometimes that some of the things the CS or the government tells people, don't think that people are fools. Chances are that this money, yesterday we were talking about that this money is cash cow. What would the money be doing in a bank if we say that the nurses, we have had the health workers getting infected with coronavirus because they don't have equipment? And even if the government has given some, they are not enough. We are having Kenyans suffering, don't have food to eat. People have lost jobs. So if money has been given for a specific purpose, please let it be done. Let that one happen. And if there's no law to that effect, when Corona was coming, was reported in this country, there was no law about masks. The law was made, the guidance were done, they went to Parliament, they were ratified, they were accepted, and they became law. So I'm not getting convinced about this, that of uncertainty or reduction of the ratio of the cash. There's nothing like that. Let money go and do what it was intended, unless it was figures we were given and not really money. That's when it can be. So that as you are agreeing, let the government come out very clear. This is not the money we budgeted for, but we will not have that money. Then it will make a lot of sense. But if money has been given for an intended purpose, please let it do it. And the coronavirus, Miriam, it kills. It is a reality. The sooner we realize this and we have this hope and fear and discipline, better. So everybody, we are not asking Kenyans, the ordinary Kenyans, to be disciplined. We are asking everybody right away, from the president to the ordinary man, when it comes to coronavirus, give people hope, have fear, have discipline, and get out this money to go and caution Kenyans. And if they don't know what to do with that money, let them pass to us, and because we do as chaplains, we know who deserves that money, and we can be able to give it out.
To distribute it very well there. Doctor, I don't know if you still have our correspondent from Mombasa there. Is Karen still there? Is Karen still there from Mombasa?
No, Karen is not. It wasn't Karen. It was another person from, I think, your place in Nairobi.
Okay. All right. So Doctor, a big chunk, yes.
She's coming in at 11.
Very well.
After 11.
Very well. Yeah. Thank you. So a big chunk. Yeah, Alomba. So a big chunk of the government's 156.7 billion Kenya shillings stimulus cash designed to keep the economy afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic largely remains locked in bank accounts. And we remember when President Uhuru Kenyatta came out and with this stimulus package, and people are happy. That means even the artists who had been a good amount of money was, set aside for that. These people have not received this money, and do Kenyans need some light shed, or perhaps you may understand how perhaps the banks work, because it appears what Yatan is saying here, it will take another 2 to 3 months before some of these monies are released from the bank. So maybe it's just the time. Maybe you don't understand because I'm not an economist, but Kenyans are wondering, President Kenyatta, these monies, you say they're there, so why are we not getting it? The layman does not understand all that, the jargon when it comes to economics. So how can the government do in terms of communicating what exactly is happening and why Kenyans are not getting this money, and why is it sitting in fixed account, Alomba? It isn't fixed account.
Thank you so much, Miriam. It is a very unfortunate discussion that we are having. Right now, we have a pandemic with us, and I want to agree with the two gentlemen, Doc and Prof, that we really need to inspire some hope into our citizens. Right now, a layman, generally, wananchi are really having some, sensing some mischief that the government is out maybe to make some money. They are not taking. They perceive the government as an entity that is out to milk cash, because you can't hold money in fixed account when we are facing a pandemic. That is not being honest. The other time, Mutai Kagwe talked about the cartels. I want to say that Mutai is not being honest with that. If at all there are cartels holding this money, holding at ransom, why can't he name them like Saitoti did during the drug scandal? Let him be patriotic enough and mention those people. And to the people holding this money, I ask the government to conduct a civic education on how they handle their cash, on how they handle anything related to COVID, so that they inspire hope, they inspire some kind of engagement. We need civic education so that the wananchi are not bombarded by this economic words like fixed account. How would you explain to my grandmother in the village that there is something called fixed whatever account? So the government should engage wananchi maybe through using the local administration, the police, the chiefs, the village elders, nyumba kumi, so that they explain this big terms to them, so that at the end of the day, everybody understand, everybody is at par with the government. With that, everybody will inculcate that element of responsibility. Otherwise, we are losing this particular battle.
Yes, yes, Doctor, by the time this money is released to the public, now that it is sitting on fixed account, will it be of any use? Will it be too late? And are we likely to see a lot of white elephant activities?
I don't know. I have another view,
yes.
Another different
Yes, go ahead.
I've worked in the government before. I don't know His Excellency how he chose these people. But there are some people that embarrass us. That's all I can. I'm sorry, I'm a friend of Jubilee Party, but there are certain things that embarrass us. And that I'm being honest. And that is why the other time, I said it on record, Miriam is here, you are on record, I'm on record. I said, Muse, overhaul this cabinet. People don't, we have 739 days left. You remember I'm the legacy man. I count these days every day. Eh? And you have a group of people who are telling me, when we get there, you better pack your goods and go. So that's why I'm counting the days, Miriam. Every day. I'm like, I am in a prison. You know, when you are in prison, you go to the wall and tick, this day is finished. This day is finished. You know, there's a group of Tanga who say, you, when we take power, you know, they have now shown you that we shall not deal with you. So it makes me stronger by defending where we are. I will defend the president at any cost without even asking for any money. But there are certain things that some of these ministers do which bring us this type of headline. If you don't have good people like us talking to seal the holes the way we are sealing, you have a very dangerous media fraternity and a journalistic. Miriam knows a journalist is the spokesperson of Mwananchi. Ataweka chumbi, hii mambo inaweza kuleta shida. If you are telling me that you fixed the deposit, what is fixed deposit? Is it your money? It came for COVID-19. Why have you put it in a fixed deposit? It means we don't have money.
Yes.
You know, there are so many things. Some of these ministers bring out things that as if they kill you. These are things that should ask the cabinet. Mumalize huko nyuma. The journalists should not touch this thing at all. Unaambia watu uko na fixed deposit. Sasa watu wanakufa hawana kitanda, wana ventilator, wana masks, wana dawa, wana maji. Unawaambia uko na money iko on fixed deposit for zombies coming from where? Are there aliens coming to eat this money? You know, if an educated man, an educated lady like Miriam is querying, what about the ordinary Mwananchi down there? What about Ruto's people like Mr. Harwale? Is going to twist the whole thing and say the money is being eaten. That's how the government is losing popularity.
Prof, will it be too late by the time this money is released to the public? Will it be of any benefit? Maybe even COVID will be over then. I'm not sure.
What do you mean release to go to who? To who?
And that's why why I said.
Yes. The money after people have died.
Yes.
So, you are releasing it to who?
The public.
People would have died. It is like you say, we open. Sorry. Open and go where? Open and go where? Sorry. The water. My saliva went in another. Because some of these things are irritating. Medium. Irritating. That's why saliva is jumping from this to that one.
Saliva must have had the billions.
You say we have a fixed account.
Yes.
For what? You are
COVID.
fixing it for what now?
For stimulus package.
Why don't you now give it out? There are people who have no. Why don't you try to bring a package of loans? At least if you have loaned some Kenyans, they can pay you back later when they are alive. Isn't it? Yes. But when you fix it in a fixed account for angels to eat it or what? Now, another question is, what was it meant for? This is a very serious question. What was it meant for? When you are getting it, what was the work of that money? Any project manager will ask, what is it for? You have to draw your budget. So, what Alomba has said, civic education. What? These guys of civic education ran away a long time ago.
The NGOs, with this one they will come. With this one, this will attract them.
Think of any NGO. Have you seen one coming in Kisumu to tell you that
Doctor,
go and wash your hands?
this money querying, this money will attract them. You'll see them start talking now.
I think they are coming because of this money. You are
This
right.
money will attract a lot of conversation. Yes.
Yes, because that's when they are going to go to Maraga and tell Maraga nullify everything. You know, nullify everything.
And that's
I'm not.
yeah, it's important for the government to come out, the treasury, so that they explain some of these things that are too much for a normal Monanchi to understand, because they thought the money that was given to the old people, the money that was given to the people in the slums, they thought they should be getting it, but now I don't know if they have gotten it for the last few months, and the money that was supposed to be helping in those areas are sitting, in fixed accounts there at the bank, and this is information that is not out there in public. Let Treasury come out and explain this, because this is something that President Uhuru Kenyatta spoke in public and promised and said this will go to these people, this will handle this, and so for those who are sitting there waiting, they're wondering what is happening. So we need some explanation there so that people are able to understand how perhaps the Treasury there works and how these monies are disbanded and the process and why it is late. But as it is right now, from a layman's point of view, fixed account is something that will be a bit confusing for some Kenyans to understand why, and yet this money was released urgently to take care of an urgent, problem that is COVID-19. So that is where we are, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I think, Miriam, the topic is very interesting. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's begin with it. Give it a full bath. An open bath. It's a very interesting topic. If I can ask the production team down in Nairobi, down in your headquarters, let's package it tomorrow. Ndio watu wengi wapasue hii kitu. Because let this man tell us fixed for who? For some aliens. No, it's a very good topic, and we have run into another one which is very good. So we have done very excellent. We have tried our level best. We have given all the advices that are needed. Surely, even if you say what can we do? Let them change the strategy. Let them change the way they brief people, so that story of this nature does not appear on the newspaper. Okay? You can't keep money in a fixed deposit. I think the minister was trying to show that the money is safe. But safe for who? But then again, Miriam, on the other end, when you go this other side, again you come to a very bad scenario. A cul-de-sac. The governors are buying coffins for us. So the ordinary man in Kisii, he said, this man is killing us before we die. A coffin in Africa can never be bought in Adipat.
It's a bad omen.
You can buy a coffin in Britain.
Yes.
You can prepare a cemetery in Britain.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in Africa, it's a taboo.
Yes.
A body bag. No African knows what a body bag is. Body bag is an American English word. So when you go and put a budget that you are buying bodyguards, 100,000 bodyguards, body bags.
Bodyguards.
Now, yesterday, another doctor called Ajomba, you saw her on TV. She said up to 40,000 people would die. You see such messages. What's going on with our people here?
Will that not be part of the fear? The fear. But the Kenyans hear that they'll fear enough to start acting right. And perhaps the men will start washing their hands.
About it tomorrow.
it will kill people because people will say that we are already dead.
You're already dead.
Yes.
Okay.
It could discourage. It could discourage. It could desperate people could go and pick bangers and cut their people.
That's a whole county.
Poison their families and die. You know, there are so many things. Who is teaching people about suicide? Who? The children are in the house. You have 10 children in the house. There are people here who have 10 children in their homes. And when you have 10 children, during school days, you spread them by going to behave badly somewhere. That's why teachers have a lot of rough time. But 10 of them, you watch them from morning. You know, you can pick up a stick and hammer all these children down. Then people tell you, why are you doing this?
Yes.
You are fed up. So we must have experts coming to teach us how to handle our children.
Yes.
Especially the girls. That's why we have a lot of pregnancies.
Yeah.
These girls are back at home watching these films. You can't stop them. Every girl has got a phone. And the worst thing is Satan has come on these phones. There are pages that show nude photographs and very bad things. Which in a sunshine savannah like Machakos areas, people get attracted in this cold weather. This is very bad. We have a problem as parents. So we need a counsel, somebody, an expert in how do we handle these problems. By now, governors should have said recreational services, some of them on a smaller scale. Recreational services. I have not seen any governor who has said walk in the parks in the morning in the distanced format. Parents are finding it very difficult. So thank you very much. The switch on coming next is the diplomatic leaks. A very good one, a very good topic, and is a topic that I can tell you, I told you. Back to Miriam to send us up towards Jerusalem.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Alomba. So, our viewers, we shall be back with diplomatic leaks, and we shall be looking at a topic on Somalia. Let me just read that out for us. And it says, is the truth about Somalia's resources, that is oil, gas, and others, unraveling given the outburst by the Somalia Senate leader and his revelations? So, this is a very interesting topic. Please don't go too far. We shall see you after the break.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.